We're told democracy is the best system. The will of the people, rule by majority. But if that's true, why does it seem to be breaking down? What if the problem isn't bad politicians? What if the problem isn't even corruption in the government itself? What if the real problem is something we never question, something fundamental about democracy itself? Democracy is built on one big assumption, that the people making the decisions, the voters, are informed enough to make the right choice. Not just emotionally invested, not just passionate, but actually informed. And that assumption is wrong. Because in a democracy, the people who vote are only as good as the information they receive. And that's where the system collapses. Because what happens when information isn't neutral? What happens when truth isn't profitable? What happens when the institutions responsible for informing the public don't serve the public at all, but instead serve the highest bidder? We don't live in a democracy where informed citizens make rational decisions. We live in a system where the mass opinion is shaped intentionally by those who profit from controlling what we think. Think about this. What does a news company actually sell? They don't sell truth. They don't sell facts. They sell attention. And what's the easiest way to keep your attention? Outrage, fear, simplicity, making you hate the other side instead of thinking critically, feeding you stories that confirm your biases instead of challenging them. The more sensational a headline, the more views it gets, the more ad revenue it generates. So the incentive isn't to inform you. The incentive is to addict you, to keep you engaged but never enlightened. And it's not just news, it's social media too. The algorithms don't promote truth, they promote what keeps you scrolling. And the best way to keep you scrolling? Division, controversy, a constant, endless war of opinions that never leads to understanding. So where does this leave the voter? In a democracy, they are supposed to be the ones in power, but in reality, they are drowning in an ocean of misinformation with no way to tell what's real and what's manipulation. They think they're choosing leaders based on facts, but in reality, they're reacting to whatever filtered, weaponized, or outright false information they've been fed. And here's the brutal truth. When votes are based on manipulated information, democracy doesn't work. It can't work. Because a misinformed majority is just as dangerous as an outright dictatorship. And the worst part, this isn't a flaw in the system, it's the natural outcome of it. The more power the people have, the greater the incentive to control them. And the easiest way to control them? Control their understanding of reality. This is why democracy doesn't self-correct. The worse the information gets, the worse the decisions become. The worse the decisions become, the more chaos unfolds, and in that chaos, the people look for simple answers, strong leaders, and easy solutions, none of which actually solve the root problem, and the cycle repeats. So what's the answer? Do we abandon democracy? No. But we have to recognize that democracy as it stands is an illusion. It's not the people ruling, it's whoever controls what the people think. The real solution isn't just better politicians or voting harder. The real solution is breaking the cycle of misinformation itself. But that's not easy, because the people who profit from this system, the media giants, the political strategists, the corporate interests, have no reason to fix it. They need you confused. They need you distracted, because an informed voter isn't easy to manipulate. So if democracy is ever going to work, it has to start with one thing: reclaiming truth. Not the truth that makes you comfortable, not the truth that fits your side, actual truth. Democracy isn't dying because people are bad. It's dying because people have lost control over the one thing that makes democracy possible: reality itself. The question is, how do we take it back?